everyone. So this is the Amberlynn Reid video that I had promised. It actually turned into a two-parter. Um, but I'm having to re-record this because the video file got corrupted or something. Like it only saved the first 7 minutes of a 50-minute recording. I think at least 50 minutes. So we are going to be watching the two videos that I had done in the first recording. My views on these are probably going to be a little bit different and are probably going to reference a bit the next video that you will see because I'm not coming at this blind anymore. But before we get to this, I have a both a shout out and a bit of a call out because my God, Mighty Kator, why did you recommend this to me? It's so good. It is so good. I love this series. I had things to do this weekend. I had things I needed to do this weekend, and I spent all of Saturday binge reading this story. And yes, at the time of this recording, the next part has been posted, and I read that before I started recording this because now I am addicted. God damn it. I mean, I love it. Thank you so much for recommending this to me. It is absolutely fabulous. But god damn it, I should not have started reading this on Saturday when I had shit to do. It's fabulous. I'm gonna get more into this at the end of the video. I just wanted to put that out there for now. But without further ado, let's go ahead. Actually, yes, further ado. I am setting Amberlynn to 1.5 speed because she talks very slowly. So now, without further ado, let's watch.
Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So, I've been gone for a minute. I needed a break. It was a much needed break. And honestly, I feel like I can continue.
So the distance between the video she posted before this one, um, and like the video before this and then this one was about 2 weeks. So she took a 2 week break. I didn't think that this really required a level of where I've been. This could have been very much a community post. Like there are times when I like the week just goes sideways and I'm like, yo, this is not a video is not coming up this week. Oftentimes, especially if I'm like sick or something, hey, it's just not gonna happen. You put it in a community post, you apologize, or you don't even have to apologize, just explain the situation so people know that you weren't killed or something. And you take the time that you need, you know? I don't think that this required a full video devoted to it.
This break, but so many of you are like, we miss you. Where are you? So, in this video,
Genuine question, like how many people actually posted that? Because I mean, I'm an avid watcher of Markiplier. Like I really enjoy his videos, and there are times when he fucking disappears for a while. I don't follow him on Twitter. Maybe he explains it there, but there are times when he disappears, and you just kind of figure that he's busy. You know. I mean, Amberlynn, I guess, is a little different in that she doesn't have much going on in her life, and she films everything in her life. She's not like a specific topic creator the way Markiplier is with his Let's Plays. But I don't know. I don't know if it required this sort of video, you know?
to answer that, I'm also going to be doing my makeup, and it's just going to be like a chit chat type of thing, like updates, answering some questions.
That's another thing that you guys I want you guys to be aware of is that there are several times when she just does her makeup in this and like she'll spend like 45 seconds talking about makeup and stuff. I will be skipping those. Um so just so you're aware.
No, it's just going to be me rambling. So I'm actually going to put my hair up because I want it out of my face. So just a real quick messy bun here. So I am just going to do like a light makeup look. I say that now, but who knows? That's my goal. It's just a light makeup look. First things first is just some Power Grip primer. Use this. So where have I been? I just needed a break. I have been on YouTube for 11 years, and I just feel like as like time goes on, my breaks become longer. I'm sure like avid watchers have also noticed that, and I'm really bad at like telling people, oh, I'm gonna take a break, by the way. Like I should tell you guys that, but like I never know what's gonna happen until it happens, if that makes sense. So next thing I'm about to use is just
So here's the thing. I find that such a cop out, especially since and I only know this because I've watched these videos just uh yesterday. But turns out she's currently the same age I am. She's about to be 34, which would make her about like 6 months older than me. And I'm just kind of like, I mean, granted, it's a YouTube channel. Well, it's not really a hobby for her though. I mean, it is kind of her primary way of making money. So I just kind of, in general, am like, I'm not good at letting people know because I don't know what's going to happen until it happens. Well, it doesn't have to be this whole song and dance, you know? You can just say, hey, I'm taking a break. Like I said, community post. Just, it, like, 3 words, taking a break. You don't have to explain yourself any further than that. I guess you don't really owe people to let them know, hey, you're taking a break. I mean, I don't know if I would go so far as to say that you owe people that. I don't know. For me, I really appreciate that you guys watch these. I really enjoy our interactions, especially those of you that are fans of manhwa and those of you that have recommended audiobooks to me. Like, I really enjoy our interactions and I respect you as people. So for me, it would just be rude to not say, hey, FYI, I'm taking a break. Like, I don't necessarily think that I have to explain the reason I'm necessarily taking a break, but I think, hey, here's the notice. I'm taking a break or something happened, barring like serious things that where I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to jinx myself or put bad juju out in the air, but like if an emergency happened, like and it was an extended emergency and I just was so out of my mind worrying about that I could not post, then yeah, that's one thing. But like just if you need a week off or whatever, I don't really see, like, you don't realize you're taking the week off until, hey, it's been almost, 5 days a week since you posted anything and you realize that you don't want to do that today and you just need a break. Literally 3 words in a community post, taking a break, is all that you really need to do. I personally just think that it's a courtesy thing. Like, it's just a respectful, mutual thing to kind of do. Granted, her audience is far more toxic than mine, so that maybe that plays into it. I don't know. Your thoughts on this one?
Maybelline in New York, because it's not a normal job. Being a YouTuber is not normal. It's more popular now than ever, but it's hard. It does get hard, especially like, let's be real, with the type of following that I have. I'm very grateful for everyone who watches me. I will always be grateful for that. But things do get heavy over here, no pun intended. And things just get really overwhelming. Like, I do have mental health problems, as you guys know. So sometimes, like, the way I'm treated online can make my mental health a little worse. So instead of complaining about it, it's easy.
So, to a certain extent, I had like I was like, I know that you have that, but I'm not sure. After seeing a few posts that we'll be looking at, I even mentioned a couple of things where people are like unduly harsh. Like, it's not the worst thing, but if there's enough people doing it, I can see how it would like really affect your self-esteem. Uh, because so much of it targets her looks and not her weight, in the way, like, here's Amberlynn's kind of a complex character because I think it's okay to comment about her weight insofar as, like, your weight's never going to change because you don't take anything seriously. Like, she has enough going on personality wise that make her unlikable that I don't think there's a comment that you're going to see in the next video about her having 5 backs because she's fat. And I just think that it's unnecessary. There's enough about her personality that make her unlikable and is worthy of criticism. I don't necessarily think that we need to make fun of her for the fact that she is morbidly obese. Like, you can make fun of the fact that she has tried everything under the sun, claims that nothing is going to work for her when she hasn't actually tried a goddamn bit on any of them. But anyway, let's keep going.
For me to sometimes just like disappear. And I am sorry for those who like worry, but I promise, like, I am okay. And to top it all off, like, I just wanted to spend time with Tommy, just like me and her. Because I caught myself just like always thinking about, should I be filming? Oh my god, I should film this. Okay, I'm gonna film it. It just kind of like takes away like the authentic feelings and memories and experiences, like when you're constantly thinking like, oh, should I be filming this? People thought that I got a strike, and the only reason why I know this is because if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I do Q&As on there, or I have been, and I've been doing them daily just because I like to talk to you guys. And a lot of you like thought I was like strike or whatever, and no, YouTube did take down 2 videos of mine recently. It was rotisserie chicken, and I ate 5,000 calories today. So the more that I think about it, I don't really understand like the rotisserie chicken one, because when you actually go back and watch that video, I literally, oh, I forgot to say, I'm now just doing my eyebrows, which is my least favorite part of my makeup. I very much have eyebrow blindness. Like, I don't actually fully understand, because I probably ate like maybe 300 calories of chicken. I know a lot of people like to say that I ate the whole rotisserie chicken. No, didn't happen, but there are other mukbangers out there who definitely have, and their videos are still up. But I'm not going to appeal it.
The only reason why I am kind of on her side with this bit on the rotisserie chicken thing, and like you can have your opinion about it. I don't remember. I only have vague recollections of that video. I remember like rotisserie chicken gate, but I thought this her eating the like that entire shrimp platter was a bigger deal to me. But anyway, she makes a point about there being other people that like eat an entire rotisserie chicken, and regardless, I don't know. I don't think I have too much of an issue. For me, it's hard for me to say that's okay or that's not okay because it's not content that I watch. I don't enjoy watching people eat. It actually kind of grosses me out. I don't like the sounds of eating. I don't like watching other people eat, especially since a lot of the like clips that I've seen, these people are like fucking messy as fuck. Not appealing to me in the slightest. So I have a hard time saying whether something was okay or not okay, or why it's okay for one person and not another. I will say that YouTube recently has gotten much fiercer with their crackdown on food related content because my anti diet pilot video that I posted like 2 weeks ago was struck. If you didn't see the community post, it was struck because of this one clip that showed her eating a salad, and she said she was going to pair it with Cheetos. And all I said was, I don't know if I would pair Cheetos with salad because that's carbs on top of carbs. And while the salad is good carbs, I don't think pairing Cheetos with it is a good idea. It would be better to pair it with a protein source. Like that's the gist of what I said. Like I wasn't calling her fat, I wasn't calling her unhealthy, I wasn't saying anything really, and nor was she saying anything particularly ED related, but it got flagged for ED content because of the suggestion I made, the slight criticism of her meal, I guess. YouTube is like cracking down harder on these, but it is in odd ways. I will say that.
I'm not going to argue with YouTube. It is what it is. Like, I genuinely don't fully care. But I do understand, like, the 5,000 calorie one, like, as someone who is morbidly obese, like, I should not really be posting that online. So I definitely get it. But I do think, so, like, discrimination, because I've seen the topic of discrimination come up. If YouTube wants to take down I ate some rotisserie chicken, they should probably take down everyone else's. I don't know. I'm not going to fight with them about it. It is what it is. But, like, how it happened is kind of like a long story, but here's the short version. So I had a journalist from NBC actually contact me, and they were like, I want to do an interview with you because we're kind of talking about like the Nikocado thing, and then it got me into like Girl World, and I want to talk about Girl World. I want to interview and understand like how it feels like to have all these reaction channels talk about you all the time, and online bullying and fat phobia and all of that. And I was just like, oh gosh, because I've been asked to do things like this like a lot, and I never do it. This eyebrow looks darker because the sun is more so on the side of my face, so if I block it, it looks even, so I just wanted to let everyone know. It's definitely annoying, not gonna lie. Next I'm gonna do is my eyeliner, and everyone always asks what eyeliner do you use. Sponsors. Like, I don't know. No, I talked to a reaction channel, and they actually did the interview with me, and immediately in my head I was like, oh, I know it's Zachary Michael, because I feel like he is like the most popular, and he's not like downright mean. There's a lot of reaction channels who are like very fat phobic, fat shaming, like just mean, and Zachary's like not like that. Like, I've had my moments where I really strongly dislike him, and that's normally during a time where like I'm going through something and like he doesn't believe that I'm going through it, or he thinks that I like.
So it's been a very long time since I watched Zachary Michael. We're talking at least a couple of years, okay? I can't say whether this has happened the way I'm very hesitant to believe Amberlynn with some of these things, mostly because of if you watched her during 2019 to 2021, that was when end of 2021 was about when I fell off watching like reaction content of her. There was a period of time where she had cancer, and the reaction channels, any decent reaction channel, basically collectively agreed to not cover her content, not react to her content while she was going through this cancer process in order to give her space to handle this. And they were very respectful. Zachary was one of the first people that did that. And I don't know. I don't think that I think I think Amberlynn has given her history of lying. And I'm not trying to shame her for anything that she's actually gone through, but the thing is that she has had such a history of lies. And like if you're not a typical Amberlynn watcher, this is a rabbit hole that spans I think at this point a decade. And she has lied many, many times. She has lied about being R-worded. She has about a variety and an extensive amount of things, from the very small to the very big. So even if Zachary did not believe her when she was actually going through something, I have a hard time faulting him for that because of her history of serious lies. Now, what did he say that he didn't believe her? That's the thing where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know any particular clips where that happened. Where do I agree with his judgment or not? I don't know. That's the one thing, is that this is somewhat context dependent, but we don't have actual receipts for this. So, I'm not saying that he was 100% not like he was like 100% in the right about it or anything. I'm just saying I understand his skepticism. That's my only point.
About something and he's taking like his audience aside. Like usually it's something like that, which is like totally normal, especially someone with BPD. Like we have a fear of rejection, hardcore. And when people don't believe me, when it's something like serious that I've talked about, for me it feels like rejection. So it makes sense why sometimes I really strongly dislike Zachary Michael. But it is what it is. People can believe what they want. I've really truly come to the terms where it's like nothing I say or do will ever change someone's opinion of me. So I'm just gonna be me, and that's that. Anyways, I knew the journalist was talking about Zachary Michael. Like she didn't straight up say that, but like I knew it. And then Zachary Michael later on confirmed that yes, it is him who actually was interviewed by the journalist. And I guess the journalist contacted YouTube and was talking about my YouTube channel. And so then it made YouTube more aware of me and who I am. So they have recently gone through every single one of my videos, and out of all almost 3,000 of them, they've deleted 2. But not once have they striked me, because I think they're fully aware that like I'm not going to purposely break terms of service. Like when they remove your video, they send you an email and they explain why they did it. And literally in the email, they told me like, we're aware that you probably weren't aware that this was breaking terms of service, so we're not going to like strike your channel. But a lot of people thought I was striked because there's a reaction channel, well, multiple reaction channels that like to say things that aren't real, and they say it with such confidence that it's like you can't help but believe everything that they're saying. But yeah, literally no. And it's like that a lot, like with reaction channels. I'm gonna do my eyeliner real quick because I cannot do my eyeliner and talk at the same time. But let me finish my thought. It's like that a lot with reaction channels. Like they'll say something as if it's fact, as if they were there, as if they saw all the proof in the world, as if they are me, and like people will run with it and believe it, and it just gets a lot. It gets exhausting. It's heavy. It's over small things. It's over big things. It's over everything, and it's just a lot. Let me do my eyeliner real quick. It was like a few days ago. I should have vlogged. I'm telling you, it was the best I've ever done the makeup. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I did get new mascara. I got new eyeliner. So I think I was like, all right, we're going to take our time. It literally took me an hour. And for November is to upload Monday, the rest of October, and for we're going to take our time. It literally took me an hour. It was splendid, I'm not going to lie. So my goal for the rest of October and for November is to upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Am I going to promise that? No, but that is my goal.
See, that's it. I so don't understand that thought process. My goal is to upload on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm not going to promise that though, but that's my goal. Well, either you're kind of committing to it or you're not. And the thing is that she ends up, so far she's uploaded about once a week. She uploaded, this is the first one. She uploaded another video about a week after that, and then her most recent video is a week from her last video. And it's fine. Like if it's totally fine if like you can't keep to an upload schedule, but for the love of fucking God, I would hope that you kind of understand what you can handle at this point. This is why typically, I mean, November is an exception, but typically I'm very much a one video a week girl, because I know that I'm not going to be able to sustain anything else. I don't promise anything else because I know I'm not going to be able to sustain it. November is a little different because I'm recording one extra video, which is fine. And I can do that for a month. I just can't do it over like a 6 month period. I know myself enough to know when I'm not going to be able to keep up with something. If I plan on doing a big thing, like last year I did a video, I think it was every day the month of December. I'm not doing that this year because I know I'm not going to be able to do that with everything that's going on in my life at the moment. So I do this bonus video every week in November instead. You either know what you're going to be able to do or you don't. That's kind of my thing. And if you're the type of person that's like, I can't keep to a schedule, then don't even mention the schedule, you know?
What am I gonna post? We're gonna go back to like that era of my life where I film just random stuff. We can do like what I ate today videos. We can do like eat with me. We're gonna do some weigh-ins. We're gonna do some vlogs, maybe some challenges, some tags, some Q&As, some just everything type deal, not just
And here's the thing is that it's like you're going back to the old ass content that you did for years. For years you did this. You have not branched out at all. And the thing is that given that she doesn't have a job or anything, and her content isn't something that requires like a ton of editing, and she doesn't even do much editing regardless. She doesn't do much editing on her videos at all, not really. I don't understand. Like, I mean, I guess she is pretty depressed, so that can be its own thing. I just am like, either promise something or don't even mention it, you know?
vlogs because that's literally all I've been doing lately. Well, not lately because I've taken a break, but literally all I've been doing has been vlogs, like when filming. So we're gonna switch her up and we're gonna do other stuff. And this video is like literally just for me to like say where I've been, to let you guys know that I am coming back. By the way, a lot of people are asking. I mean, a lot of people have always asked because I love glitter. I'm usually using the glitter from like ColourPop. It's multiple. I have since I switched and go back because I don't have the little box that it came in. I'll post it for you guys here because I'm telling you, I just love a drugstore makeup. So it's the Falsies Surreal. Longest time, Better Than Sex was like my jam. There has to be better out there. And I tried that with eyeliner. See Rarity's tail. She shows joy. When it comes to mascara, I will say Walmart, Target. I got this little fella from the Walgreens. Like you can find walking by. Just random videos. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And the reason why I don't say December is because December is different. Like that's Vlogmas. I don't know if I'm doing Vlogmas. I did not do it last year. The year before I did do it and I was fully successful. But like every era of my life is so different. It's like, will Vlogmas fit in this era? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. If right now, today was December 1st, and I had to do Vlogmas, I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't. But we'll see. Like, genuinely, we will see. Oh, she just poked her eye, folks. She just poked her eye. Not gonna lie. I was gonna take, what was that laugh? I was gonna take down my hair, but I'm living for this messy bun. I'm actually living for it. The only thing I can fix, let's fix this guy right here. Let's tuck him in. He thinks he's the life of the party. Okay, that looks good. Sometimes you just like need your hair up in a pony. Like my hair is so much, which I love my hair, so don't get me wrong. Well, I don't love it as much as I once used to, but going through like menopause, like I'm telling you guys, after I stopped taking my estradiol, which I was never supposed to be taking, which is so crazy. Like I still can't get over that. I took it for 2 years, and they were like, no, no, you should not have been taking. That's a whole. I still to this day do not understand how that happened. And I don't really want to talk about it. Sometimes I got diamonds, but no, I think we're just gonna stay like this. What was I saying? Oh yeah, ever since I stopped taking estradiol, like my hair changed texture, which also is my fault because I was crimping my hair a lot after like not using heat.
I'm pretty sure at this point she does nothing but talk about products she uses on her hair, and I'm sorry, but I'm just not the least bit interested. Something I'm gonna do in this video that I didn't do the first time I recorded this is we're gonna take a look at a couple of comments. Someone said looking very 2019, and I agree with this, and that's what I thought, especially with her talk about returning to old form content that she used to do. Like it's really giving 2019 a lot. Her new upload schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday till December when she doesn't know. Talks about makeup and how she showers. Saves you guys 18 minutes. I mean, To an extent. Yes, not entirely. There was a little bit. You got like the last half of it for sure. I see Emily's plan is coming along nicely. Holy shit, who is Emily? That's the thing. I never learned who Emily is. Who's Emily? Yeah, it's sad. Final era being expedited immediately. No, like, is Emily Tommy? It's honestly something else to witness from our end. We are watching the end times. I truly believe Tommy is the final nail. I don't like Amberlynn, but this is pretty tragic. I don't know what's been going on. Like, she left and then came back. This is the first time I'm seeing anything because I was just like covering her, and I didn't see too much about this. We're gonna learn a little bit more about like her new big identity marker in the next video that we're about to watch. But so this person says, I'm not saying this as a hater. You genuinely look different in such a short amount of time. It is alarming. I had to come and see if this was real because I saw your screenshot and I thought it was from before 2019. I pray that you can have a moment of clarity and come to your senses. Someone says, exactly. I genuinely want her to be better before it's too late. She's gained a lot since she stopped filming. So in the 2 weeks, she gained some weight. Okay. That Clarity ship has long sailed for Delulu Land. I gotta admit, I don't think I don't say this as a condemnation of her. I say this more as a sad reality, just from my experience with people in general. I think Amberlynn reminds me a lot of certain family members. One who's still alive, but one who died. Uh, and the one who died was a like serious drug addict that was in all sorts of denial, and you could not tell him anything. You just didn't like, if you confronted him about his stuff, you were essentially a hater and sort of things. And I'm getting kind of vibes from that. Like, food is her addiction and it's killing her, and I think she's past. I I don't say this for sensationalism. I genuinely think she's kind of past the point of no return. Someone says she looks pretty much the same. Someone says stop with this. She doesn't look different at all. Maybe in the beginning because she didn't have makeup on, but stop. This is a stupid narrative. Most of the time, haters are exaggerating, and not this time. She has clearly gained in just 1 month. If you're too delulu to see that, well, I don't know what to tell you. Her face is bigger than. Nope, it's not. I mean, you wouldn't be a fan of Amber if you had basic observational skills anyway. Another person says, "Oh my God, Amber, you aren't going to be able to come back from a game like this." So that's what everyone's kind of freaking out about. Is that it seems like she's gained some weight, and there was some talk about Tommy, like she's moved in with Tommy, like it's supposed to be temporary, but I don't think it's going to be. Someone says she's back in the 600s. One person says, Girl, a break from what? You post 8-minute compilation vids of 30-second videos that you edit on your phone like once a week. Someone says, Stop using BPD as a shield and take some accountability for once. This is something that we're going to get into more in the next video. So, a lot of people seem to have a lot of concern about her weight gain. And this is a stream. We're going to watch her most recent one. This was something that I did not do in the last video because I did not look at the comments, and I'm glad I did this time. This is a stream from 3 months ago. But before we look at that, let's take a look at what she looks like one more time. So this is what she looks like now. See if we can find something with her not looking down, but kind of looking at the camera. Okay, so this is kind of what she looks like now. I would say she's gained no, I would say she's gained some weight. Like you can tell in her shoulders, her face now looks a bit bigger. She has gained some weight. Um, how much is hard to say for someone of her size. I don't know what her like last weigh-in was, but I'd be curious to hear your guys' opinions on the difference in how she looked then and how she looks now. So This video is called We Need to Talk. It was posted a week after the last one that we saw, not the stream that we just looked at from 3 months ago, but the original video.
Hello, welcome to a new vlog. I know I like to point out the obvious, but my hair is a mess. She is super.
Like, she looks a mess here, and that's not to shame her, but like, this video actually genuinely made me concerned for her because she seems like she's spiraling mentally just with how she looks in this.
Frizzy, and I have a lot of hairs growing back from when like I lost a lot of hair from when I was like crimping and whatever. I do have a lot of hairs growing back, so that makes it even more frizzy. Hello, welcome to a new video. Can you guys believe it? Because I don't even know if I can. So I actively don't know where my tripod is, so I'm gonna set you guys on some markers. We have a little wetness right here because I just refilled the animal's water. So on days that Tommy works, especially, like, I have the same like morning routine. I'll wake up, take the dogs out, refill cat food, dog food, water. It's just like every day, just my go-to. They say that it takes 21 days to form a habit. I can see that being a thing for sure. It's just back at home in Oklahoma, like, my routine is just a little bit different. So having to form another routine, you know, here in Wisconsin is a little hard because it's like I lived alone for a full year. So now it's like different routines for different places. By the way, I'm actually working on the Camaro. Oh wait, I told someone that I was doing the Corvette or Corvette. What is it called? I don't do cars, but this is a Camaro. I told someone I knew you guys were gonna fall. I knew it's gonna happen. I saw on Instagram that I was doing the Corvette, but no, I'm doing the Camaro. I'm sorry, I got my cars confused. Look at that. And then I also completed the Mona Lisa. Isn't that so cute? I feel like this.
Don't get me wrong, I am very much an advocate for crafts. I find them to be very mindful. I find them to be very therapeutic, especially if you have like anxiety or something. I think that they are great. I almost feel like at this point it's an escape for her instead of dealing with whatever it is that's going on with her. She's the first person that made me go, maybe sometimes you need to put the hobby down and just kind of deal with your shit a little bit. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Like, I don't mean that in a condescending way. Like, she just, I don't know, there's something about this that just screams mentally unhealthy to me. And maybe it's not the Legos. Maybe it's just her general vibe. I don't know.
Look good in Tommy's living room, so I was like, you can have it. I don't know what it is. Like, I really wanted to be the type of girly pop that did the Legos, completed them, and kept them. But it's like I have done so many that I feel like I need like a designated area, like a designated room, like a Lego room. So I've gotten rid of all the Legos I've done. I've literally done hundreds. Yes, it's a lot, but it's more so about the building of it versus the keeping of it, because it's like, okay, once I'm done with this Camaro, like, cool, it's cute, it's fun, it's fresh, but it's like me building the object is more enticing than keeping the object.
I understand what she's saying here, but if that's the case, if you're more into um just building them rather than keeping them or looking at them, uh honestly, like, you don't have to buy Lego brand stuff. There are a shit ton of off-brand Lego sites that have virtually the same or very similar builds, and even builds that like Lego won't do. Uh and you can buy them for much cheaper and build them. I even have an off-brand Lego set of the Breaking Bad like van from the first season. I haven't built it yet, and my family was like, "You got a Lego method." I was like, "Yes, I did. I'm gonna build it." But like, if the whole goal is to build it, then Lego is incredibly high, like, as an incredibly high price. You can get off-brand Legos for like a third of the price, if not lower. I mean, if you just like building the Legos, then buy off-brand Legos and you can build a shit ton more different stuff and for much cheaper. Your money goes a lot further.
But if I had the option, girl, I'd have every single Lego I've ever done. I'd have a little museum of Legos. Like, I wish, but it hasn't been that way. And like, if in the future I do get like a Lego room or a spot to have all my Legos, I'm telling you, I will redo every Lego I've ever done, and that's okay. Some hobbies are expensive, and this is one that is expensive, and I'm okay with that fully. I feel like there's so much that I need to like explain and talk to you guys about, and it's just like too much to do in one video. So I don't know. I need to make a list, like, not me looking around for a piece of paper. I need to make like a list and just write down, okay, so I need to talk about these points. I should do them in these specific videos because it's just a lot. there's just a lot. I think specifically for this video, like I shouldn't have to explain that I'm having mental health issues. I really am. And I look back at a year ago, and I was also having pretty bad mental health issues around this time of year. I like to reflect. I'm very much a reflector, and I think that's why I do a lot of journaling. I reflect. I like to.
My issue with her saying, I like to reflect, I'm a reflector, I do a lot of reflecting, is that you can reflect until the cows come home. You can spend your entire fucking day reflecting on your actions. If that does not drive you to any form of like significant change, then what it just seems like it is a form of mental, emotional, and possibly philosophical masturbation. Like that's all it seems to me. Because great, you reflected. You reflected on your actions, you reflected on the state of your life. Wonderful. What are you doing with that reflection? What are you doing with that apparent clarity that you have spent so much time doing, that you journal for? Like, I've heard journaling used for reflection. I've also heard it mostly used to like to get out of your head, like for people with anxiety or something. They write everything that's going on in their head down just to kind of get it out. Like that I get. But if you're really promoting yourself as a reflector, then why do your actions never change? Why are we going back to 2019 to 2016 Amberlynn? Why are we doing that? And you say your mental health was bad around this time last year. Honestly, I've yet to see Amberlynn not struggling with mental health issues, and that's fine. Like people sometimes like massively struggle with mental health issues, and that's fine. The issue is that it doesn't seem like she ever seeks help. She seeks out people to tell her that she's fine, and when she doesn't get that, she switches people. So, it's one of those things where it's like you reflecting on your actions doesn't actually do anything if you aren't actually finding if you aren't seeing the issues with the patterns of your behavior, you're not making any effort to change those or modify them, you know?
Understand the way I feel. I don't know. It's just maybe it's because I grew up in and out of like group homes, children's shelters, and very much when you're in that setting, they love a good like let's express ourselves. Let's sit in a group, go around in a circle, and express yourself. So I grew up expressing myself a lot. I grew up with so many therapists, like because when you're in foster care, like that's what you do. Like you're almost obligated to see somebody on the constant, and so I'm very accustomed to expressing myself, but like I'm not very accustomed to people actually caring, and that's like the sad reality. Like there are good foster parents out there. There are good foster situations and group homes. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was in a good group home. Like, it was an all-girls group home. I was there for about 2 years, and still to this day, there are girls I lived with there that I still communicate with, and staff members. That was a good point in my life. It truly was. But the children's shelter, no. I had fun times there. It was like a slumber party constantly. But the staff there, they didn't care. It didn't feel like they cared. They were there to make their money, and that was that. So it's like, yeah, I was taught to express myself, but no one ever heard me. No one ever was actually listening or caring. And that's just like kind of how I feel too sometimes with like YouTube is like I'll sit here and express and explain. It's like, is anyone actually listening? Is anyone actually hearing me?
I don't know why that pisses me off. One, you say you're here and so and does anyone actually hear you? Does anyone actually care? And here's my issue with Amberlynn. It's the same issue I have with my fucking aunt. Oh, Thanksgiving's gonna be fun this year. Fuck. Anyway, um, actually, I'm opting out of Thanksgiving. I'm not fucking going. I'm not dealing with her. Anyway, but Amberlynn seems to have the same issue with people that my aunt does, in which if she pours her heart out and you point out how maybe um she's viewing things uh in a very personal way, and if you try to reframe it like in a less personal way, or sometimes she's just arguing your point her a point that she has and you just fundamentally disagree, then you aren't really listening. Because if you were really listening and really understanding what she is and what she's gone through and how she feels, you would agree with her. That is the mentality of my aunt, and I feel like that is the mentality of Amberlynn. That if you aren't agreeing with her, you aren't hearing her. And that is an issue. People can hear you, people can sympathize with you, people can uh, know exactly what you mean and think you're either approaching the situation wrong, offer a different perspective, or just fundamentally disagree depending on like what the conversation's about.
I reflect back to a year ago, and I was turning to alcohol, and I was living on my own for the first time. It was just like a lot, and it was heavy, and I was turning to alcohol thinking that's what was gonna make me feel better, and I was just really depressed. And like I would come on YouTube, and sometimes I would share that, or sometimes I would just like have a fake persona because I didn't want to be that person that would constantly come on here and be like, I'm depressed, I'm sad, look at me cry, look at me have a mental breakdown. And I've done that a lot on YouTube where I'm just fully transparent and I cry. I open up about my anxieties. What was it that I said that people really like to bring up? Mental things is scary. In that clip, I was having so much anxiety that like
Just for the record, in that mental things is scary clip, I was around when that clip first went viral, and that clip was highly analyzed. But something that's like, if you ever look up that clip yourself, she does seem to be having like a legitimate, to an extent, a legitimate reaction to whatever at the time she was on these mental health meds that just were not working for her, or something. Or maybe I think she went off her mental health meds like cold turkey and she was spiraling. I think that's what happened. But I think she was having, for the most part, a genuine reaction at first. I think it was maybe a little dramatized, but I think she was having a mostly genuine reaction. And then you can see her look at herself in the viewfinder, because they had this um like old kid. This was the time when there weren't as many standard like camera options. Not the same way. You had a lot of these like on the go like quick buy travel camcorders and shit when that clip happened. And there was like the little flip out viewfinder that you could flip, and she was always the type of person that would admire herself in a viewfinder. You could always see that. You could see her preening in the viewfinder. So you saw her in that clip crying and struggling with it, and she caught view of herself in the viewfinder, and immediately she changed her facial expression to something of more drama. That's why people memed it so hard, was because it came across so unbelievably inauthentic at that point. It wasn't that people didn't care. It's that even if you say it was like a genuine thing that you were going through, and to a certain extent, to a degree, I think it was also painfully obvious that you were taking your expression of those feelings to the nth degree for dramatization and possibly for attention. That was the issue with that clip and why people didn't take it seriously.
the world was just heavy on my chest. And that's just a prime example of like times where I really did come on here and just like, I let it all out. And I told myself that I wasn't going to do that this time, because when I do that, like it's never, I'm not going to say never. I talk in a lot of absolutes, and I need to learn how not to do that, because not everything is an absolute. It's just how it is. There is always like a gray area in most situations. I was about to say like I was never met with like kind ears. I was never speaking to kind hearts. But that's not true.
I'm glad that she acknowledges that that's not true, because there have been plenty of times where people felt sympathy for her. The issue is that she does these things fairly regularly, and she never even tries to attempt to fix the core issue, which is usually around her emotional regulation, her repeated like shopping addiction habits, and her food addiction. Like, she doesn't make genuine efforts towards those things.
There are a lot of you who do watch me and care about me. And those people, like, I appreciate you more than you know. And I hear you and I see you, but sometimes it's so hard through all the noise. And that's just reality. It's truly reality. So I told myself this time, like, okay, Amberlynn, you feel yourself slowly getting into a weird, depressed headspace. And normally I would share that with YouTube. And I told myself, I'm just going to disappear instead. And I shouldn't have done that. I know I shouldn't have. A lot of you were worried. And I think that's why I went onto Instagram. It's because, like,
And see, this is another issue that I have. This feels like a different narrative than we got in the first video. Like, she said that she took a break because she didn't know she needed a break until she needed a break, and she's just not good at letting people know. And now she's saying she felt herself going into a negative headspace and didn't say anything because she felt she wouldn't be met with kindness. Those are they're not mutually exclusive narratives, but it feels like a piecemeal constructed narrative that she's putting together. And I'm really not trying to be a hard ass bitch on her towards her on this one, but I just feel like it's worth mentioning, you know?
I felt bad because it's like I upload pretty frequently and I'm part of people's routines, whether for good or bad. And it's just like I just disappeared. And I think what might have also triggered it so hard is like I have been in like a high, you know, when you first fall in love and like things are so good and you're like going out and hanging out with friends and you're doing things that like you don't normally do and you're just like literally having the time of your life and you're so happy. And like mental health like takes away that like high, that super high happiness and just like that great feeling. When that was taken from me, it was like I hit like a rock. I hit like a bottom. And I have done so much crying. Like I am with Tommy. I am with someone that I love, but I feel so depressed. And it's like, it's not fair because it's like, I'm getting people on Instagram because I was doing these Q&As on there. I was getting people on there saying like, if you're so happy with Tommy, then why are you depressed? Two things can coexist at the same time. I just feel like mental health isn't black and white. And it was just easier for me to like live without filming my life for thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It felt safer to me to just disappear. And I do slowly feel myself getting like out of this like weird depressed headspace. I do feel that. And it's just like I have BPD and that's been like hectic on like it's just been hectic. It's not fair that like I have these things while I'm trying to just like be happy and just live. Like it's not fair. And there's only really one thing I can do, and that is go to therapy. For some reason I'm so scared to go to therapy for like BPD. I don't know what it is.
And because you've gone to therapy a couple of different times and you weren't met with the reaction that you wanted. Amberlynn has doctor shopped in order to get certain diagnoses before, and I'm really trying not to be a hater here towards her because I think that she does need help, and I'm hoping that she actually seeks out like genuine therapy for this. I don't trust that she will stay with a qualified therapist if that therapist doesn't give her the diagnosis that she wants or doesn't give her the feedback that she wants. Amberlynn seems to focus entirely on getting what she wants and not what she needs. And if someone isn't telling her that her way of handling things is 100% valid and absolutely fine and not problematic in the slightest, then she's probably just going to move on to another therapist.
But something about it really freaking scares me. And I think it's because it's like, it's almost as if it's like truly, truly confirming. Like, Amberlynn, you got the BPD. It's like, yeah, I was diagnosed. I experience BPD things almost daily. I feel it. I'm aware. Like, I'm cognizant of it and I have to deal with it. But it's like going to therapy for it, like having to like stare at it, talk about it. It's just surreal. And it's not something I want to do, not something I want to experience, but it's like, that doesn't matter. It's something that I have to do. And I'm not sure when I'm going to be doing it, but it has to happen.
She's done this. I have to do it. It has to happen. This is something else that I've heard, honestly, from addicts before. And I'm not trying to shame addicts. Like, if you were an addict in the past, this is in no way like anything towards you. But I've had a couple addicts in my family, and they've acted like this, and it is just a pet peeve of mine at this point, and it's something that pisses me off. It's where they're like, no, it has to happen. I can't do it. I can't just let things slide anymore. I gotta do it. It has to happen. It just has to. It has to. I can't keep doing this. It has to happen. And then nothing ever happens. Not a goddamn thing ever happens. Not even an attempt to make anything happens. Because it's all fucking lip service to tell you what they think you want to hear. And I feel like that's what's happening with Amberlynn here is that she thinks that that's what so much of her audience has said over the years, get therapy. And so I feel like this is just her latest attempt to give her audience what they want to hear without actually doing anything.
Because I don't know. Is this seasonal depression? I don't know. Mental health is like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not always understood. And I'm telling you guys, I have had some breakdowns, like true breakdowns, and this is exactly how I felt a year ago. Like, I don't know if it's like the change in weather, because there is a such thing as like seasonal depression. I don't know if that's like what's happening to me. I don't know. I know that like I don't want to be medicated. I don't want to be medicated. I was medicated for majority of my life, again, because in foster care, like I was diagnosed with depression at the age of 9.
Uh, so I don't know why she doesn't want to be medicated. That's something that I've heard before. I'm not necessarily going to judge her on not wanting to be medicated, but if it was genuinely helping you, I don't really understand why you wouldn't want to be medicated. Um, but she even changes this tune in the next video, and you'll see it in the next part. She completely does not a full 180 on this, but it's definitely a change in tune from what she's saying here.
And put on Prozac, like that's crazy. Like 9-year-olds should not ever have to deal with that.
Some kids have depression and some kids need antidepressants. I don't think I think it's odd to say no kid should have to deal with it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I guess I understand that it's unfortunate that kids have depression. That is unfortunate, and a lot of times it's environmentally um based, but it can also just be like an issue with brain chemistry, and so the antidepressants help. I will say, I was on Prozac for my PMDD once, and it was fucking shit, and I hated it. Um, because 2 weeks in, I developed like involuntary movements. I nearly dislocated my shoulder. My shoulder jerked so high up that I essentially like punched myself in the jaw with my shoulder. I had a bruise on my chin, and the whole area around my shoulder hurt for like the next day, and then I went 5 days without sleep because of the involuntary movements. I just had a really bad reaction to Prozac, and I would not fuck with it again. And those involuntary movements, they lessened, but they stuck around for like a year later. It wasn't until like after a year that they finally fucking stopped. It wasn't to the same extent, like I didn't punch myself in the jaw with my shoulder again, but it was enough that I struggled with sleep for over a year after. Well, about a year.
So I've been in and out of medicine my whole life, and I was taking Lamictal for 5 years because I was diagnosed bipolar years and years ago. So I was taking Lamictal for that, and I don't ever want to be put on medicine. So it's like with BPD and seasonal depression, like I know some people take meds for seasonal depression. I get that. Me, I kind of just like wing it. And instead of like complaining about it, I just disappeared because I knew that's what was going to happen. I was going to come on here and be like, I'm so fucking happy with Tommy, but I'm depressed because I am going through a depression that I seem to go through every single year. And then with BPD, it's like there are medicines that can like help with like your mood. Like there's nothing that can like heal a BPD. Like you're not going to like be healed with medicine. It's not going to happen. I will say that like Lamictal did help with my BPD as well. I'm not going to lie, but I don't want to be medicated. And I think that's a personal choice, and that's okay. So it's easier for me to say I don't want to be medicated. So I don't have the what am I going to say? I don't have the option to complain, which I really do. It's like, it's no one's fault that they have mental illness. It's no one's fault. And I think that being medicated should be an option.
Don't get me wrong, you have the right to say you don't want to be medicated. That's fine. And like I guess she doesn't really owe us an explanation either, but then like if you don't want to give the explanation, I don't think that maybe you should be talking about this because people are just going to have people are going to have questions. Like why do you not want to like did you have like if you had a history of bad reaction to medications, like I get it. There are people I had a schizophrenic in my family that did not like taking his lithium because he felt like it dulled everything. And like that can create its own issues because then he ended up self-medicating, but putting that aside, like I can understand certain times of like when you don't want to take the meds because you don't like the reaction that you have with the meds. Like I understand, but she said that the Lamictal helped her, so I don't really understand the aversion to medication here. You know?
Because that is serious. And I don't like medicine. You guys know that. But what I do have an option is therapy. So with BPD, therapy can very much be the main thing that helps with people with BPD. It's DBT therapy. I need to do it. Everyone and their mom and their uncle recommends it to me, and I need to just go for it. But I want you guys to know that, like, I haven't been not uploading because I'm lazy or because I don't care about you guys or because of anything like that. It started as like, okay, I'm gonna spend some time with Tommy, even though in the back of my mind, like I slowly felt this depression coming, and it happens every year. I have to be like very cognizant of that. I have to like say that because a lot of people are like blaming Tommy for my like lack of uploads. No, she has been so supportive, and she's just like, she understands that I need a break, but she's also like very encouraging when it comes to like things that I enjoy and love. And she knows I love YouTube. And she's like, you know, upload when you want, but she's always like giving me cute little ideas. Like we want to do y'all, I gathered so many questions for you guys, and I like to physically write. So I gathered so many questions from you guys for me and Tommy to answer. So that's something that's still like up in the air. At first I was like, I don't want to do this.
The thing is that she does this with literally every girlfriend where like and sometimes even without the girlfriends. Like she's done this with popsicle sticks, she's done this with strips of paper, she's done this with any and everything, and she'll always skip over any like hard questions and just just answer the ones that are kind of flattering to herself. So I'm just like I'm over the postcards, the index cards, the popsicle sticks, or however she wants to organize this newest round of questions that she's probably answered before, at least half of them, at least 10% of them, but more likely 40% of them are questions that she doesn't even want to answer and she won't. Like it's one of those things where it's like, miss me with it, you know?
Oh, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Amazon was delivered. What was I saying? So I got these so I could write down your guys' questions so Tommy and I could like pick them out randomly so they weren't in like any specific order. We were gonna like make it a series maybe or do it all in one video, but the video would be like hours long, I feel like, because there's a lot of questions, you guys. So many. So we went through phases where we're like, yeah, let's do this. And then I was like, no. And then she was like, no. And then we were like, yeah. And now we're kind of currently at the stage of like, sure, why not? So there are a lot of questions. So it's like, why did I even bring this up? I forget. Oh my god, the Amazon guy distracted me. What was I saying? Okay, I remember now. It's because some of you are blaming Tommy for me not uploading when no, it's like the complete opposite. Like she's super supportive in like whatever I do, and she's just super sweet and amazing. So yeah, this is for that. So I'm gonna write the questions on here and then like fold them up and like I want to put them in like a clear vase. I think it'll look really pretty with like the colors. And you guys, I'm telling you, there's so many questions. This angle's hectic, but I don't know. Like I need to do my job. I need to come on here. I need to be myself. I need to be myself. Like, I need to be myself. This is me. Like, I grew popularity in being myself. I have lessened in popularity by watering down who I am. That's eye-opening.
That's not it at all. You gain popularity by kind of being a train wreck, in all honesty. Like the vast majority of people started following you when when like this cycle was established, when we saw how you treated your girlfriends. And I think one of the big things that really triggered it was the accusation of you know what against an old partner.
That the Amberlynn that like has more personality and like shows more of like her vulnerable side and like isn't afraid to be like, yeah, this is me. Like that Amberlynn is the Amberlynn that people came here for. I'm gonna go ahead and assume. As much as people like to talk shit and say what they gotta say, which is a lot, deep down it's like you're here for a reason, I'm assuming. So I don't know. Like anyways, oh, and I uploaded a TikTok and an Instagram of calling myself like a fat squirrel because the sound went viral because this lady on TikTok really was like filming a squirrel saying, look at this morbidly obese squirrel. Like it's literally so funny. And TikTok and Instagram thought that I was bullying myself. So they took it down because they were like, you're bullying. And I was like, no, I'm not. It's just so funny. And like so many people have used that sound because the original has 8.1 million likes. So many people have used that sound and they're not getting their stuff taken down, but they took down mine because I thought that I was bullying myself. And I had to like reach out and be like, I'm not bullying myself. Like I did like in a little appeal thing, but TikTok still was like, no, you're bullying. And I'm like, girl, who am I bullying? Like, I just thought it was so funny and cute. Like I was scrolling the TikTok and when I saw that squirrel and I heard the sound, I was like, that is genuinely, like that made me laugh. I was like, I need that like laughter. So then you guys know me, like I'm like a comedic girly, like a troll. Like that's funny. Like to me, that's funny. That's lighthearted in my opinion. It's funny to me. Like sometimes you gotta take a dark situation and you gotta make it funny. I have been so depressed. I have been self-loathing after time of like finding myself and loving myself. But it's like mental illness, folks. Mental illness. It's not fun. By the way, my bra, like this is so hecticana. My bra has a little like lump right here. And you guys want to know why? I'll take my phone and I'll be like, oh, fuck a purse. Fuck a pocket. Like most of my dresses have pockets. Fuck a pocket. And I'll stick it right here. And it's like in the same designated area. And I've had this bra for so long. So it's like literally my phone has made a lump right there. So random facts. All right, you guys. So I don't really know what the point of this video was, but
I don't either, but we're calling it there. We're going to take a look at some of the comments. Kia Jones says, I'm sorry, girl, but you don't look like you're thriving. Please start taking care of yourself. I agree. She looked like she's hanging on kind of by a thread a little bit. Meet the Parker says, Amber, this isn't seasonal anything. This is the high wearing off, and you need to be single and focus on your mental health. I agree with that. Daly says, you're depressed because you don't love her and the euphoria of a new relationship has worn off, but you won't listen to anything you don't want to hear, and as a result, you'll continue to make the same mistakes over and over again until it's too late. PJ says, in a few weeks, our breakup was totally mutual, you guys. I met someone new. She's amazing. And I've never felt this way before. That's, if you know the Amberlynn cycle, especially with her girlfriends, that's pretty true to the course. Another person says, I don't like to be medicated. They quote that part from Amberlynn and say, "What do you think drinking buzz balls, taking various forms of THC, and overeating tons of food are? Just because you don't get a prescription for something doesn't mean you aren't medicating." That is a very good point. She is medicating herself with alcohol and food for sure. Someone says you're not looking good. Your mental illness is not your fault, but they are your responsibility. Another person says, I'm going to assume she's fully moved in at this point. I agree. She seems to, like, apparently before the break, she had just gone on a road trip and ended up with Tommy at Tommy's house. And so the fact that she's there doing her Legos tells me that, like, it seems like she's moved in. Another person says, wait, so you're telling me eating out, casinos, drinking, rarely leaving the house, and being driven around in a rented Jeep doesn't make you the most happy and fulfilled person ever? So, a little sarcasm there. World's shortest honeymoon period. I know you don't want to hear this, but exercise helps so much with mental health. That's very true. Another princess, you don't have to make a new routine in Wisconsin. You don't have to be there. You have choices. That's another good point. Another person says, maybe you're depressed because you realize this person is not right. Another person says, it's not Tommy's responsibility to fix you, girl. That's all on you, 100%. Another one says, it's not giving Tommy is the love of my life vibe anymore. Feel like you can't go back home. Another person says, girl, in the nicest way possible, you look rough. Like all the progress you made has been overshadowed in literally a month. This should alarm you. I hope you can turn things around. And another person says you were much better living in the same area as your mother, grandmother, and other relatives lived. I agree. Even for the little bit that I saw, we saw her with her mom last year on our last check-in with Amberlynn, and she was doing better. She was doing better with her mother. But that's what we've looked at for Amberlynn. Now I want to talk about Manhwa. And this is not your typical reincarnation story, and this is really interesting. So, she was, again, a Korean woman, died, reborn as the villainess in the story, like we've heard many times. But it seems like there's someone outside of the story that can control the story and try to work things in, and I think it's the author, to force these characters to go along with the original story, and depending on the type of character they are, like whether they're the main protagonist, a primary character, a secondary character, a complete side character, a no name character, otherwise will depend, the which will influence like how much the story has an influence on them and how much they will react to the villainess here. So the main characters have the most animosity towards her, while the side characters are a bit more pliable. And all this is happening. She's married to a man of another family, and she was originally supposed to be essentially a spy for her family, but she refuses that because she's like, I'm not gonna make the same mistakes that the villainess made. And slowly but surely, she's been started to change the course of the story to the point where the author was even panicking and has lost control of the story from their desperate attempt to try to direct things back to their original course. It's fascinating, and it seems like the male lead and the protagonist of the story are almost to a certain extent becoming villains because they still hate the not the main character but the villainess, despite the fact that she's a completely different person. It's like they are bound to that original storyline and it is conflicting with the current reality of the story. It's fascinating. It is done so well. And it all of this is gradual. Even she wins over the secondary male lead. She's like fully won him over, and it was done so gradually, and it's done in a way where it's like he realizes, wait, why did I hate her? It is brilliant. I love this. Thank you, Mighty Ktor, for recommending it. I'm still pissed off this took up most of my Saturday, but that's on me. And just to kind of go over some of the other stories I'm reading. I've only read like 2 chapters, but the reason for the twin lady's disguise is interesting. Her whole family was killed by the prince, so she is taking over her brother's place in the swordsmanship school since she's actually better at swordsmanship than he is, but it's an all boys school, or that portion of the school is an all boys school. The Remarried Empress was very entertaining yesterday. I'm recording this on Monday. I read the Sunday episode, and I mean, I don't like Russia. I don't like her. But her, like, shouting out in court that Sovietshu is impotent was kind of funny. And he's like, you would try to drag the emperor down with you? And she goes, yes, I would. He did this to me. Like, I enjoyed that. I did enjoy a little bit of Sovietshu's comeuppance there. One husband is enough is interesting. She chose our knight, but now it seems like the 2 other male leads are almost jealous that she chose the knight, even though one just outright rejected her and the other one didn't seem to show much interest. But like there's a princely character who was one of the ones that didn't show much interest, and it's like he's interested, but he's approaching her in a very toxic way, suggesting that she's doing something or like she has some game that she's aiming for. It's interesting. Behind Her Highness's Smile is still just kind of going along. We haven't learned much new. And Duolingo Unleashed was apparently only a 6 chapter series, but it was pretty entertaining and it's full of like fucking memes. If you want something off the wall and a very quick read, I do recommend it. But with that, nothing else left to say. This actually went on a bit longer than the first time I recorded this, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.